In 1955, some American cars would run well in the spring, but when winter came, the real misery would begin. Engines would freeze, doors would freeze, and parts would not withstand the winter. In this video, we show you the most problematic 1955 cars that became a problem for drivers in the winter. Dear viewers, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your support. Number 5, 1955, Desoto Firedome, 291 cubic inches, 4.8 liters, Hemi 5, 8 horsepower, around 185 horsepower, optional power flight, 2-speed automatic. The Hemi engine gave the Firedome solid acceleration and highway cruising power, a luxury muscle contender before that was a trend. Cold starts. The hemispherical combustion chamber design of the Hemi, while great for performance, caused longer warm-up times. In freezing weather, the engine would crank slowly or stall. Carburetor trouble. Early carburetors had poor air-fuel mixture control in strong wind and cold, leading to hard starts and engine sputter. Fuel system sensitivity. The mechanical fuel pump was not well shielded, sometimes resulting in vapor lock or poor pressure during winter. Steering feel. The power steering system was overboosted and unresponsive at times, fine for smooth roads, bad for slick surfaces. Brakes. Drum brakes on all four wheels would fade on hills and weren't very effective on wet, slippery roads. Very plush and comfortable. Big bench seats, two-tone colors, optional power windows, and seat. Build quality was decent for the mid-1950s, but insulation and heating performance weren't ideal for cold climates. Why it didn't last long in buyer minds. While stylish and powerful, Desoto didn't have the prestige of Chrysler or the popularity of Ford, GM. Cold weather performance hurt its reputation in the northern U.S. Desoto, as a brand, was already struggling to define its identity. The Firedome was caught in that confusion. Despite the performance, some dealerships quietly advised cold climate buyers to pick other Chrysler models with smaller, more cold-hardy engines. The 1955 Desoto Firedome looked like a star and drove like one until winter came. A bold V8 and early HEMI tech were its pride, but practicality melted in the cold. Number 4, 1955 Lincoln Capri engine, 341 cubic inches, 5.6 liters, Y-block V, 8 horsepower, approximately 225 horsepower, 3-speed automatic, Hydra-matic. This was Lincoln's flagship at the time. Powerful, elegant, and meant to compete with Cadillac and Packard. Electrical failures. The Capri had a relatively advanced, for its time, 6-volt electrical system with multiple powered accessories. In cold climates, this system often failed. Relays would freeze or respond slowly. Power windows and seats were sluggish or stopped working entirely in low temperatures. The large V8 engine required a lot of cranking power, especially in winter. The 6-volt battery wasn't always up to the task. In sub-zero weather, the battery could drain quickly or refuse to crank the starter at all. The starter was known to be underpowered relative to engine size. In the cold, oil thickened and made the engine harder to turn, which often overwhelmed the starter. Rear-wheel drive. Like most cars of its time, it had RWD with poor traction in snow and ice. Weight distribution. Heavy up front, light in the rear, making it slide easily on corners. No traction control, of course. Drivers had to use sandbags in the trunk to gain grip in northern states. Cabin heat. The heater core and blower system weren't very strong. Took a long time to heat the interior in deep winter. Poor defrosting systems meant the windshield fogged easily and stayed that way. Number 3, 1955, Pontiac Star Chief Engine, 287 cubic inches, 4.7 liters, Stratostreak 5.8, the first overhead valve V8 from Pontiac horsepower, approximately 180 horsepower 3-speed manual or Hydra-matic automatic. The Star Chief was Pontiac's top-of-the-line model. Long, flashy, and seen as a budget-friendly luxury car. Engine starting trouble. The new Stratostreak 5.8 was advanced for Pontiac, but had trouble starting in freezing temperatures. Required long cranks to fire up. Spark plugs and timing system often struggled to ignite cold, thick fuel-air mixtures. Many owners complained it would refuse to start on winter mornings, even after multiple tries. Like many cars of its time, it used a 6-volt electrical system, insufficient for reliable cold starts. Batteries would discharge quickly or lack enough power to crank the large V8 in sub-zero temperatures. Carburetor problems. The 2-barrel carburetor used in most Star Chiefs had trouble in winter. Choke systems often stuck closed or open. Fuel vaporization was poor in the cold, making the engine sputter or stall. Icing inside the carburetor was common, especially during warm-up. Heavy nose. The car had a long front end and poor weight distribution, leading to understeer and slipping in snow. Rear-wheel drive. Combined with light rear traction, the Star Chief struggled on icy roads. Manual choke in many models. Drivers had to feel their way through a cold start, making mistakes easy. Some dealerships recommended installing aftermarket block heaters or using lighter engine oils to compensate for hard starts. A sign the design wasn't fully winter-ready. The 1955 Pontiac Star Chief was a beautiful and powerful cruiser. But when the temperature dropped, it became notoriously temperamental. Weak batteries, a stubborn carburetor, and poor cold start performance made it a frustrating ride for anyone living above the Mason-Dixon line. Number 2, 1955 Chevrolet Nomad, 235 cubic inches, 3.9 liters inline 6. Optional engine, 265 cubic inches, 4.3 liters, small block V, 8 first year for Chevy's iconic V, 8 horsepower. Approximately 123 horsepower I6, or up to 180 horsepower V, 8 3-speed manual, or 2-speed power glide automatic. The Nomad was a 2-door wagon with a sleek, slanted pillar roofline. A standout in the Tri-5 Chevy lineup. Weak heating system. Poor cabin heating. Many drivers found the heater to be ineffective during harsh winters. The fan was underpowered. Heat distribution to the rear seats was limited or non-existent. For a station wagon marketed toward families, this was a major comfort issue. Frost would linger on the windows, especially in the cargo area, posing visibility problems. The new 265 V8 was innovative but not yet refined. Carburetors, especially the early 2-barrel Rochester, were prone to icing. Manual choke in some models required driver finesse. Many flooded the engine accidentally. Inline 6 versions also suffered from hard starts due to outdated ignition systems and weak cold weather tuning. The Nomad still used a 6-volt electrical system, which struggled in freezing weather. Cranking over a cold V8 required a lot of juice, and many owners dealt with dead batteries in the snow. Despite being Chevy's most stylish wagon, the 1955 Nomad was not particularly practical for cold weather families, especially compared to Ford or even Rambler wagons, which had more robust heating and winter tuning. The 1955 Chevrolet Nomad was all about curb appeal. It turned heads and made statements. But once winter came, many owners found it too cold, too unreliable to start, and not exactly family-friendly in harsh conditions. A classic beauty, but not built for the cold. Number 1, 1955 Chrysler Windsor, a cold start for a classy cruiser engine and specs engine. 301 cubic inches, 4.9 liters, polyhead V8 horsepower, around 188 horsepower power flight, 2-speed automatic, full-size sedan Chach coupe with Chrysler's new forward-look design by Virgil Exner. Affordable luxury, with smooth ride and premium appearance. Slow to warm up, the Poly V8 engine was powerful, but in cold climates, it took a long time to reach operating temperature. As a result, the cabin heater was slow to kick in, especially in sub-freezing temperatures. Drivers often had to endure long stretches of driving in a cold interior. Frosted windows would linger well into the commute. Heating system limitations. The heating system relied on engine warmth, which wasn't efficient in cold starts. Vent and airflow design wasn't optimized for fast windshield defrosting or rear passenger comfort. Additional cold weather challenges. The carburetor could struggle with icing or overfueling during early morning starts. The automatic choke sometimes failed to adjust properly in very low temperatures, causing rough idling or stalling. Battery and ignition systems, while improved over earlier models, still faced performance drops in freezing conditions. Despite being one of Chrysler's best-selling full-size models, the Windsor lagged behind competitors like Buick or Oldsmobile in terms of reliable cold-weather performance, especially in northern states and Canada. The 1955 Chrysler Windsor was a stylish and capable cruiser, but cold mornings revealed its biggest flaw: painfully slow warm-ups and a heater that left you shivering. For a car that looked modern and elegant, its winter manners were old-school and unforgiving.